What is the stupidest thing you have ever done? Finally gathered the courage to tell my high school girlfriend that we weren't working and that I wanted to break up. While forgetting that that particular day was her birthday. Sophomore year was a ton of fun. Edit. It is also important to note that this was a phone call. I used to set my legs on fire back in middle school. I once tested out a jammed nail gun on the palm of my hand. It was no longer jammed. I put the entire lump of wasabi they give you at sushi restaurants in my mouth. I ran over my mom with a golf cart when I was 7. When I was 19, my friends and I used to go driving around in my Jeep Wrangler. One day we decided to longboard behind it while holding an extension cord. Think similarly to how people water ski behind a boat. On our first attempt I decided to be the guinea pig since it was my idea. Things started off fine, so they sped up to like 15 or maybe 20 miles per hour. I decided it was too fast, so I jumped off the board and started running while I dropped the cord on the ground. By some freakish miracle the cord wrapped around my leg and started dragging me. I was dragged for probably a good 100 feet before they were able to get the driver to stop. My underwear got melted to my skin and I had to peel it off, which was one of the most painful things that's ever happened to me. I couldn't sleep on my back for a couple weeks. Punched a window out of anger and severed my median nerve, causing like 75% paralysis of my right hand and thumb. I guess that's why they call it window pane. It's between throwing my iPhone on cement right before getting into a fight, smashed the screen into tiny pieces, and telling a girl I loved her and shit her boyfriend while blackout drunk. Stole money from a meth head, then told him about it. Easy way to get a revolver in your face if you're into that sort of thing. I made a bet with my friends for a bag of hot Cheetos that I could swallow a biscuit whole, without any water. Long story short, my attempt went south. This dry biscuit got lodged in my throat and I couldn't breathe for more than 30 seconds. I eventually knocked it out, but not without some panicking. I very well could have passed out or died by choking like this. I never got my bag of Cheetos. A week after getting my license, I decided to take a spontaneous road trip 300 miles to visit a pen pal in the next state over I had never met before. The stupid part is I told no one I was going, namely my parents, because I knew they'd freak, and when I was there, my car spun out while driving and I popped a couple tires. Well, I got one replaced, and the other full of fix-a-flat. Then my genius app remembered I had to work the next day, so I decided, let's see how fast my Civic can go. Maxed the speedometer at 125 for 2 minutes non-stop at one point, with fix-a-flat. Oh, and I totally got lost and didn't make it to work on time. How I managed to make it home, let alone not getting pulled over, is still a mystery to me. When I was a kid, my father took me to the department store to buy a new winter jacket. He complained the whole time about the cost of new coat. Fast forward to later that day, I was in the garage, playing, and I came across a can of blue spray paint. I shook it a few times, and became very curious as to what was inside of that can that was clicking around. I secured the can in the vise and gave it a good solid whack with the claw side of a hammer. It was a wooden ball. I got hit. A lot. Microwaved my cordless phone to dry it off after dropping it in my toilet. Another really stupid thing I did was let my drunk friend throw a rusty metal dart into my back. We were at a party in college when we saw a rusty throwing dart sitting on top of the fridge. As a joke I said, "Hey, I bet if you threw that in my back it would stick." He said of course it wouldn't, you idiot. For some reason this made me irrationally angry. By some reason, I mean a lot of booze. I said alright then, prove it. We went outside in the below freezing cold to let him throw it at my shirtless back. He lobbed it one time and it didn't stick in. He started bragging that he was right. This was my chance to get off cheaply, but my drunk ego got in the way. I said, "You barely even threw it, you pussy. Throw it harder." Holy shit, did he throw it harder. It went right into my back. It was so deep in there that I was walking around the party with it in there while letting people take pictures with it. My mom made me go to the hospital for a tetanus shot the next day. One of the nurses said I was lucky because if it went in a few inches over it could have punctured my lung. 0 tenths for the experience. 10 out of 10 for the street cred. create a friend-only law, where when we get drunk and one of us puts the empty box of beer on our heads, we're fully entitled to punch the box as hard as we want. Boxhead isn't a fun game. Paid off my now ex-fiancée's student debt. My mentality was, we're going to be married, it'll be my problem soon anyway. She left me a few months later. Started smoking. When I was little I ate Comet the cleaning chemical because I thought it was mozzarella cheese. I sprinkled it on my pizza and after the first bite, quickly realized it wasn't cheese. Edit. For those that don't know, Comet is bleach that comes in a green bottle. To my young brain it looked exactly like the mozzarella cheese you would dazzle on a slice of pizza. That would also come in a green bottle. I think I grew up fine since then. I was working out with some good buddies back in high school during the summer between our junior-senior year. It was pretty early on in our working out, and I was a pretty chubby kid for the most part. However, my friends were pretty fit and did workouts like ours pretty regularly. Naturally I was ready to listen to whatever they had to say on what workouts I should be doing. My friend B goes up to the closed garage door we worked out in his garage to do a handstand push-up. Pretty sick. Looks cool. And I am ready to show I am a fit person now after 2 or 3 workouts. I walk up, proceed to try, and realize how much I weigh and how much I can lift are vastly different. I go down, but I am tenacious, persevere. My parents told me in 7th grade whenever I cried after football practice, so I try again. This time I go up to the garage, and flip my feet up against it, and feel my arms shaking, so instead of crumpling, I slam my back against the garage to slide down easy to the ground. I just happened to slam right into the sharp metal hinge on the inside of the door, and proceeded to slide down about 2 inches before I realize I'm in immense pain. I knew it was bad when I asked my friends to look at it and all I heard was a soft "Oh, hey, why don't we go into the kitchen?" I now have a long 2-inch scar on my back. When I was like 3 I decided it'd be a good idea to eat a chicken nugget without chewing it. I have no idea how I'm still alive. I've ordered chicken nugget and natural selection didn't get me somehow. Got caught shoplifting back when I was 18. Everyone was doing it and I really wanted to prove how awesome I was. So desperate to fit in. Stupid me got caught, arrested and went to court. Luckily an angel scooped trembling me out of the court lineup and offered me a diversion program which resulted in my charges being withdrawn, sparing me a conviction. Never have I ever done something so stupid again. I don't regret much, but that was a shameful stupid smear on my life. I once hit myself in the face with the door while opening a door. To this day I'm still not sure how I pulled it off, but it happened. Probably when I told my friend over the phone that I was looking for my phone, so they got a hold on while I looked for it. I was at a show and bought a beer, the kind with the magnetic hole in the bottom, was playing around with it until I pressed the hole and all my beer fell out. Got really high while home alone and decided to eat my girlfriend's zucchini bread. Basically my high brain only sent a single chew command followed by an instantly regretful swallow. I felt the gigantic chunk of once chewed bread lodged in my throat immediately. My first step was to try to take a drink of water to wash it down, and I could literally feel the cold stop halfway down my throat. Then panic set in and I grabbed a chair from the table and tried giving myself the Heimlich to no avail. I stood up and for the first time in my life I could see the darkness coming in from the outside of my vision. I could feel myself starting to pass out and decided to go for broke and just shoved my entire hand down my throat and broke it up. Took a huge gasp, saw stars, and had throat skin under fingernails. Throat hurt for a good couple weeks, but at least I'm alive. Gotta be when I did 3 straight double shifts in a row at work. I came home and my then wife asked me to plug in her phone, so my exhausted self grabbed my deodorant stick and tried to plug it in. "That's not my phone," she says. "Yes it is." "No it's not. That's your deodorant stick, you idiot." Quit my job, packed a suitcase, flew around the world to Japan on a one-way ticket with no job or visa and without knowing the language. That sounds like bravest, not stupidest. It's a thin line. Is it the stupidest? IDK. but it's definitely on the Mount Rushmore of stupid shit I've done. I agreed to sublet my room at my apartment and move in with my ex because I was always there. She was already my ex when I moved in. How dumb was I? 6 months in total I lived with her, and it was 1 month of fun times and 5 months of hell. Lesson learned. I did work a lot extra in order to avoid going home. The extra money was good. Hates and makeup are also a good time, so all in all it still wasn't with it. I wasted $2,000 as a kid because I thought credit cards were unlimited money. Cared about other people's perception of myself during high school. Now I just do the things I like without thinking about whether people see it as something cool. Rubbed my man bits after planting some chili. Raised my hand for rhetorical questions 3 times in one class.